So to get started, we are going to be using spackling. It is pink, but don't worry, it is not going to dry pink. It will actually dry white. We're gonna spread it on all over the pot. As you can see, I'm gonna get a thin layer. We're gonna do another really cool technique. So you wanna get enough on there though, where it's a good layer, but not so much that it's gonna take forever to dry. Okay, so you can see where it's going from pink to white right here. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna do like a stamping technique using chicken wires. You wanna just kind of press it in all over, and then we're gonna remove it, and you can see here where it's just gonna give it a little bit of almost like a beehive look to it. I think it's gonna look really cool. It is starting to dry. You can see the white coming through. We've got to give it a few hours to make sure it is really good and dry, and then we're gonna start painting. As you can see, this plaster gave the pot such a unique look, and I really love how some of these dark spots are actually showing through. So now that we have both coats of the spray paint dry, I'm gonna go in and I wanna add some of this multicolor texture by Rust-Oleum. I cannot believe how well these pots turned out. They turned out better than I expected, and they perfectly match the aesthetic of my house. I hope you love them as much as I do. Let me know if you decide to make a pot of your own or to make over a pot of your own. I would love to see it. Thank you again for watching, and I can't wait to see you all again soon.
You're not going to believe what I do with this vegetable oil. I added ready mix, concrete mix, peat moss, perlite, and water together and mixed well to create a thick concrete mixture. If you roll it into a ball, it should stick together, and then you know it's ready. Next, I oiled the inside of a 20-liter bucket using the vegetable oil, and I carefully packed the concrete into the bucket on the bottom and then worked my way up the sides. I went up about 8 inches, and it was about 1 inch to 1.5 inches thickness. After it dried for 24 hours, I flipped the bucket upside down to take it out, and I used a small wire brush with water to smooth around the top edge and remove any loose dirt and dust around the sides and bottom. Then I used a sponge to apply brown, antique white, and gray acrylic paint around the outside, top, and inside edge of the concrete and blended with a bit of water. Once it dried, I added a tropical plant, and now I have a modern pot that looks like a limestone planter for a fraction of the price.
This plastic dollar store planter definitely needs a makeover. I'm going to get my paint ready before I do anything else. I've grabbed some gray chalk paint and some sand that I found at the dollar store. Now that the paint is quite thick, I'm going to get the planter ready. A quick sanding with a sanding block is all the planter needs. This will rough up the surface a bit and help the paint adhere a little better. I want to cover the entire planter except the bottom. It's important to cover the edges and the inside lip of the pot as well so that it looks real and authentic. I don't want any of the plastic visible. Now that the paint and sand mixture is all dry, I want to brush on some dark gray paint. I'm not going to cover the entire surface, but I want to brush it on kind of randomly. For the final paint layer, I want to add a little white to highlight the edges and the high points. I'm adding some white first, and then I'm going to mix it with a little gray just with my brush. Finally, I want to seal the planter with a clear coat. Since my planter will be outside, this is just going to help to protect the paint and the sand mixture from all the elements. It's time to fill my planter with potting soil and add a beautiful plant. The texture and paint make this planter look completely different now. You would never know it was the plastic planter from the dollar store. I hope this has inspired you to give your planters a makeover as well. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Home Talk. I'll see you next time.
To start this project, we want to take our plate from the thrift store and we want to attach it to the bottom of one of these foam rings. I'm going to turn my foam ring over here, and I'm going to use some contact cement. And I'm going to put that all around the edge of my plate. I'm going to put a nice generous portion here right around the edge. And then I'm going to flip my plate over and attach it to the bottom of this ring. Just going to slip that down. And you can move this around however you need it. And I'm going to turn that over. And I want to attach the other foam rings on top. So I'm going to take some of my contact cement, just put a generous portion right around the ring, and then stick my next ring right on top like this. You want to make sure that they are nice and even, so you have a bit of time. You can move them around here until you get them right in place. And we're going to do that with each of our rings. Once you have all of your rings in place and stuck together, you want to give this time to dry. You want to make sure your contact cement is nice and dry before you move on to the next step. Now we want to create some texture to our planter. So you can either use some paint and add something like baking soda to it, and that will give you a nice chalky finish. Or you can use a product by Fusion called Sandstone Texture. You can also just take your normal paint and add some sand to it, and it will create that same look to it. With whatever you choose to use to get some texture, you want to go ahead and you want to just put that texture all over the foam rings and the plate at the bottom. You don't have to do the very bottom of the plate because that's what will be sitting on your table. And you want to make sure to get it into all those seams between the rings as well. With the texture layer on my planters dry now, it's time to go ahead and paint. I'm just going to use some Fusion mineral paint in raw silk, but you can use any sort of craft paint you'd like to paint your foam and the plate. And with the paint, we want to make sure that we get in between all of those crevices, because we want this to look like one uniform piece when it's all done. So I'm just going to paint right over the texture, right over the foam, and right over the edge of the plate as well. You also want to make sure that you go right around of that top foam piece, right around into the inside of that, in case any of that is showing later when we put our plants in. With the texture and paint now dry, my planters are ready to fill. Just remember, your new foam planters will not be waterproof, so you want to keep your plants inside of a pot and then put it inside your planter. It can pop in just like that, or you can use some fake plants. You can pop in some moss around the edges and then pop in some beautiful faux plant onto the inside, and you can have your moss peeking out like that to make it look even more realistic. I'll be back in just a second to show you how they look. These beautiful planters were quick and easy to make, and all I needed were some foam rings from the dollar store and a plate from the thrift store. For under $10, I was able to knock off 2 planters that would normally cost over $100. I hope you enjoyed this project. They were so fun to put together. I'm Lisa from Recreated Designs. Thank you for watching Home Talk. I'll see you next time.